Hey guys, we're back again.
Hello.
So this is part 2.
Yes.
We did the introduction on the first time. Now what we're going to do is walk around the property, kind of talk about the property, the area, show you our horses, and let you get to know them. Before we do that, I do want to say that with the sanctuary, yes, it's for wild horses. But we also do, my wife and I personally, we do rescues also. Of the 5 horses, 4 of them right now are basically a rescue. My personal horse had a year and a half ago a really bad injury. He cut his leg all the way down to the bone. It's coming back. It looks pretty good right now. But that's the thing. You know, it's a rescue in a way. We do have an actual rescue, and that's Flower. She is a Missouri Foxtrotter. She came to us as a rescue, and we are rehabilitating her back to health. Sandy is our old lady. She's 35 years old, and she had a rough life when she was younger. So, in essence, she's also a rescue. Tacoma. She had a horrible accident a couple years ago. She was bit by the dog, tore her tore her leg open. She was an endurance horse. She is done with that part of her life. Now she's kind of a pasture pet, okay? And then the last one, who is the only one who's never been injured or anything like that, is Dusty. And she's, like I said, she's the only one who's not a rescue right now or temporarily injured or whatnot. So let's go meet the horses. So Chief is my buddy. He's my personal horse. He's the one who has a leg injury that was pretty bad. We weren't quite sure if he was going to make it. Chief is 29 years old. I'm not sure exactly on that because when I got him, nobody really knew exactly what year it was. So it's 1 year. It's either like 28 or 29. He's a great boy and I love him, and you can see he's a character. So the next one over here is Flower, and this, I said, is a rescue. Now, Flower is the Missouri Foxtrotter, and she really has had a tough life. She came to us with a myriad of problems, and we're working her through that, and she's doing all right. The latest one that we've been able to finally kind of get ahead of is laminitis, and we had her feet trimmed the other day by the farrier, and she's walking better, she's feeling better, she has more energy. So let's kind of go around this way so we're not going through them. Hey there, bud.
Sorry for the new format, guys. We're trying something new and it's working.
Our sunbather down here. This is Tacoma. So Tacoma is another one of the injured horses that we have. You have to back that up a little bit, maybe a little bit higher and turn it. There we go. There you go. Tacoma was an endurance horse. She is no longer really rideable. My wife possibly can ride her around the property a little bit, but that's about it. Because she comes up lane pretty fast on that. She's the one who had the dog bite and ripped up her leg pretty good. So I'm going to show you this one over here. This is our old lady. Hi there, baby girl. And this is Sandy. Sandy is 35 years old. She had a rough life with competition and stuff like that when she was earlier. So now she's just a pasture pet, and she deserves it. So let's go back over here and I'll show you Dusty. Okay, this big girl is Dusty. Her real name is Dusty Rose, and she's walking away because sometimes she's a real butthead.
She's not a fan of us trying to stick this big old thing near her face.
But if we can kind of get Dusty. Let's head her off and go the other way.
This is what happens when you're dealing with real horses, guys. They don't always cooperate.
Yeah.
They're not a fan of sticking big things on sticks in their faces.
Cool. Alright, so there's Dusty, and I think she just went out screen.
Okay.
But she's the only one who does not have an injury or anything like that.
Which is ironic, because see how she's the least willing to be on camera?
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
She's like, no thanks, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's no good. So, let us do panoramic view of what we've got here.
Yes.
So I'm going to kind of turn around And behind me is what's called Square Butte. And I think, yeah, there you can kind of go in there. Perfect. So if anybody is aware of the artist from Montana back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, a gentleman by the name of Charlie Russell, or Charles M. Russell. That butte is in a lot of his paintings. So it's a pretty famous landmark around the area and in Montana, and we're at the bottom of it. So that's pretty cool. So let me kind of come over here. Now the mountains in the background here is what is the beginning as known as the Bob Marshall Wilderness. And it is a true wilderness. It's a few million acres on kind of central west Montana. So we got beautiful view. There's snow on the top still in there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not, but those mountains are rugged mountains. They're not that far away, but it still gives us a great view. So keep kind of panoraming, going around. Behind me here is what's known as the Big Belt Mountains, and that's just a ring of mountains, and it's a mineral deposit is how they got their name on that. So let's kind of walk a little bit, and you may not see me because I would rather have the property in and instead of just me. And I'll talk a little bit about what we got going on here. So the fence line kind of goes down there. You may or may not see the flag. There's 3 posts off to the left there. We nicknamed them the Three Amigos because those are scratching posts for the horses. Right in front of us is kind of a greenish area. In the springtime, it's real marshy and there's water that flows through here. Now it's kind of dried up, but it's still, there's water underground. Out in the distance there, it's real green. There is an actual creek out there, and it's called Little Muddy Creek, and it's still flowing. It's got water in it, and I'm going to be nice to Kate, so we're not going to walk all the way down there. So that is very lush, lots of grass, lots of green. We kind of come around this way. You really can't see the fence on the other side because 40 acres is a lot of land, and it's pretty nice. But it goes all the way up to the road, kind of where those power poles are, is where our property ends. And somewhere out there, anyway, I'm not going to try to figure out, is that corner of the property. So this is it, guys. This is what we've been working for with the sanctuary. This is the beginning that we can have to bring in a few more horses from the Bureau of Land Management, or that are actual Mustangs that people can't handle anymore or just need to get rid of. And still, it's a Mustang, it's from the BLM, and that's who we are. So, Kate, I don't know, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add is we know you guys have been asking a lot of questions about the property and about horses and stuff. We haven't been ignoring you on purpose. Jim has no Wi-Fi on here. Like, it's amazing we even have cell service, but he hasn't been able to see any of the messages, and I haven't had a chance to let him know that there have been messages, so we apologize about that. I did want to point out that I know there's been some questions about how many horses you can have because people do the whole per acre thing. Just know that, remember, this is a starting property. Like the fact we finally have property after how long of not having it is massive. And we just need people to remember that the way we can get more is by, utilizing resources for nonprofits and also for your guys' support. So we do have lots of long-term plans. We plan on having an education center out here and, places for Mustangs to be rehomed and rehabilitated and be trained to ride, and then other ones that'll just be free on the property. But that will take time and that will take more property to get to that point. So
one thing that is going to be coming this summer, we're planning on putting up 3 shelters for the horses to help get them out of the wind, out of the sun, out of the weather, things like that.
Because the only thing this place doesn't have is trees and stuff for shelter. That's the one thing it doesn't have.
But we're also planning on planting some trees around for that too. But we do need to have 3 shelters. So I am going to put it out to you guys. Help us out. you know, donations, and I appreciate so much those of you who donate every month or once a year or whatever it is. It's really helping things the way it's going. We're really looking good that possibly we can do some other things in the future with that money. So, but this is a start.
Yes.
This is where it starts. This is where it's going to begin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just wanted to kind of, give you guys a chance to see the property's real. It does exist. We also, wanted to make sure you guys kind of knew there are still more long-term plans. But the fact that Jim and his wife were able to do this is awesome. Because I mean, they're I hate to tell people your age, but they're damn near 70, and they're out here doing what my husband likes to call hippie camping. They're having the time of their life, and they're doing this because this is how much they love this. And I think that we need to really acknowledge that. For some people, this would be a sacrifice. For them, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And the best part is you'd want someone who's super dedicated and passionate to be willing to be out here like this. So just know that it's in the hands of people who are going to make it happen. And we'll make sure as much as we can handle, as in me, coming out here. We'll try and get a couple more videos as things get done before winter hits. And then we are still going to try, so long as it works with our schedules, to go to the Helena Farmers Market, maybe once a month throughout the summer. So if you guys are local, try to hit us up on the dates we have posted on our website for when we'll be doing that. And yeah, just keep being awesome, and please keep following us, and keep asking those comments, guys. We are watching, we are listening. We just haven't had a chance to reply yet. So that's it.
A couple things I just thought of. Well, kind of important. Address obviously is changed.
Yes.
Okay. So when we need to get with our webmaster on that.
Yes.
Right now, for temporary, we have a P.O. box until we can get into Great Falls, which is the county seat, and actually get a true address for the property. But right now the address is Post Office Box 185, Cascade, Montana 59421. Okay. So, and also another thing. Now, if you want to volunteer and come out to Montana and help out, there's a couple of hotels in Cascade. We're not set up here, obviously, for right now. But if you want to come out and volunteer for a day, or maybe even do a vacation and spend a week here or whatever, there are a couple of hotels in Cascade. And if you're interested in that, either Google Cascade, Montana hotels, or get a hold of us and we can give you that information.
Yes.
Would love to have you out here. Would love to talk about talk about the property and what we're going to be doing face to face. I would dearly love that. Plus, it gives me a chance to see some of you that have been following us and supporting us the whole time.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, sorry it's been a while, but I hope this is sufficient proof as to why it's been a while. Jim and I have barely talked for the last month because he's been so busy. But yeah.
She actually called me the other day and says, "Are you alive?"
I was like, "Are you okay?" But yeah, so this is it, guys. This is what it's been all about.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later.